Did you guys see NXT?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How about we talk about it?
Let's talk about it. Go ahead, man. Let's do it.
We had Drake Maverick versus Kushida versus Jake Atlas. Three-way tiebreaker, I guess. Winner goes on to face, what's his name, Lou?
El Hijo del Fantasma.
El Hijo de Fantasma. Who I actually like that guy because he was in Lucha Underground. I forgot what he wrestled under, but it was a different gimmick. He was really good. He was. Jeez, I was thinking about this the other day and I forgot it too. Anyway, yeah, winner goes to the championship for the cruiserweight NXT cruiserweight title.
Notice how it went from being the interim cruiserweight title to the cruiserweight.
Oh yeah, it's interim. It is interim, right?
Well, that's how it started. Now
they're not saying interim anymore.
The whole interim thing has kind of disappeared.
Who was champion?
Jordan Devlin is the champion.
Jordan Devlin is the champion. Interesting. Anyway, Drake Maverick goes on to win this match.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, weird finish.
If you didn't see it,
well,
for those watching,
this is a review, so
disclaimer.
For those who didn't see it, sorry.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, what are you watching a review for? I guess you want to know the spoilers, I'd imagine.
Oh,
but you have like almost like a submission by Kushida on Atlas, like an armbar or like that was almost like a flying armbar, and then Drake Maverick sneaks in, puts his arm on top of Atlas, and I guess gets a victory. What did you guys think?
I thought it was I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good way to protect Kushida. I thought they were even going to tease maybe a triple threat, but clearly not, because Kushida and Drake Maverick had their little interaction after the match, shook hands. Post-match in the back, shook hands, and Drake agreed if he wins, which I think is a spoiler alert. If he wins, he'll give him a title shot. So I think Drake's gonna win this thing.
Yeah, I think Drake's gonna win it too. I think there were no plans for him to win it. That kid cut a promo. He kept it classy, got himself over like always. Somebody gets himself over on their own, and this time they listened. They were like, "Whoa!" There's no way that this was the plan all along. No way in hell. He earned this shit, and he made
it. The firing was a work?
Hell no, no way. If you look at the people that were fired with him, it's all his friends were fired. Like, it's, all the guys that they were not using, that that they weren't sure what to do with, or had issues with the company and voiced their opinion. All of them were let go. He fits, like, but like, yeah, he got himself over, and this is the story. Him winning this is the story. So this match.
I feel for him because let's say he wins, he has a title run, he loses, and then what?
Well, he kept his job, so that's all that matters. I mean, I think he kept his job. Now, if they still go on, if they go, look, we're gonna keep you on to win the tournament, then you're gonna drop the belt, and then we'll get rid of you. I don't see that happening. There's no way. I don't think they would invest this much time and energy. They would have did it maybe for one match, like a little feel-good goodbye moment, and have that moment. He's going to win this thing. He's in the finals. It makes no sense. If Kushida wasn't going to win, it makes no sense for him to be in finals if he's not going to win it. But yeah. Lou?
I mean, this match is weird because I liked it, but I didn't like it at the same time. So it's kind of weird to say it that way, but the match was fine. I mean, all three guys told a good story. You know, I love the fact that Drake Maverick sold the arm immediately. He threw the first chop, and he basically hurt himself in the process, or at least in storyline. I actually enjoyed this match. This match made more sense in terms of the way that Maverick worked, because a lot of the things that Maverick did not do in his one-on-one match with Kushida, he did in this match. In terms of falling down when Kushida hit him with the punch, you know, actually selling the big moves and falling as he should have done in the Kushida match. Jake Atlas, I can nitpick certain things. I mean, obviously, I didn't like the fact that Drake Maverick stood there frozen for what felt like a half hour for Jake Atlas to hit that cartwheel DDT that he does off
He's
the
a spot monkey.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't see. The thing about it is, I think that move is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just a matter that if the guy is setting himself up and he's literally standing there, I mean, I say half hour. I'm clearly exaggerating, but you could probably say 10 seconds. And the thing about it is, when you're standing there for 10 seconds and you're doing nothing, you're selling nothing, you're just standing there waiting to take a move, then it's like, all right, it's a setup. It looks really bad. Um, Obviously, I didn't like the finish of the match, and here's the reason why. With Drake Maverick, am I glad that he's in the finals of this tournament? Yes, it's a great story. It's very well done. The one thing about it is that I keep feeling like the matches that Drake Maverick won in this tournament, they clearly all look like he got lucky. And the thing is,
sounds like his job.
but here's the thing though. In a match like this is clearly a match where Drake Maverick could have won a little more cleanly, because knowing that it's a triple threat match, he's technically not beating anybody one-on-one. So this is a match where, I don't want to say that Kushida or Atlas would do the dirty work, one guy for the other, but, in a match like this, where you have three baby faces, an opportunity has to come up. They're trying to create controversy in the match in terms of basically having, Kushida having Atlas in the armbar, Maverick covering him. The referee counts three, gives the match to Maverick, and then after the commercial break, they go back and show a wide shot of that very same replay and see that Atlas tapped out at the count of two to Kushida's submission. Now they do the post-match promo, and obviously Drake Maverick realized that, hey, he saw the replay and realized technically he didn't win the match. There's controversy. So he's trying to work it out with Kushida, and then Kushida's like, hey, don't worry about it, just go win. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Kushida, I'm like, no, you don't win. You got to go through me before you get the next match. So again, it's baby faces being baby faces. Drake Maverick wins. It's good. Am I really looking forward to the match with Phantasma? Not really, because it's like it's all baby faces versus baby face matches, and there's no heel. There's no real heat here. It's just a bunch of matches, and no matter how good they are, it just kind of seems like it's a little flat, because it's like there's no heels. There's no heels in this tournament, and I didn't like the way that the match ended. Is like, you got to protect the finish. If you want Maverick to win, he's got to win slightly more convincingly than that. In Maverick's promo, he says, when I win the Cruiserweight title, I was just like, that's mighty presumptuous of you there, pal. You won three matches basically by the skin of your teeth, and now you got to wrestle Phantasma one-on-one. And again, I wasn't very happy about the way that WWE didn't explain how Phantasma won his bracket, knowing that he and Tozawa were both 2-1. It's like, okay, how do you explain it? It's very simple to do it, but they never did. So it's just kind of like, it was kind of flat. But, I'm sure the match will be fine. It's going to be a fun match to watch. It's just a matter that I didn't like the finish. And, you could be fine for 2/3 of the act, but if the finish stinks, then
So you remember. Do you think he's going to win the belt?
Unfortunately, yes, you're correct about that.
He's clearly going to win the belt. I didn't mind the finish. I didn't mind the finish if they're going to tease Drake versus Kushida. What I do mind is that they're clearly not putting him on that even playing field. Like you said, like, he's winning by the skin of his teeth. So with this finish, it's basically, well, he didn't beat Kushida, but
And he
they'll
didn't
meet
beat Atlas
eventually.
either. And he didn't beat Atlas either.
Yeah,
So it's like,
and it's like they're on this quest to meet if he wins the belt, but he's not his counterpart. He's not really,
no.
you're not putting him at that level because he's winning by the skin of his teeth.
And the thing about it is, in a situation like this, it would have been cool if, William Regal, let's just say that William Regal, hopefully when they do the finals of this match, if William Regal were to come out and say, you know what, Kushida got screwed here, I'm putting him in this match. And even though it's another triple threat match, and, with the exception of, Phantasma being in the match, again, it's still three baby faces. There's no real heat going on. But at this point, that I think that would kind of be a fun triple threat match to put on. It's three very different styles. You have the British world, the British world of sports style with Drake Maverick. You have the Japanese strong style with Kushida, and then you have the Mexican lucha style with Phantasma. And to put those three styles in one match and see how those three can, and then you blend in the American catch style, because all three of them have to work some sort of the American style to work for an American audience. It's like you blend all those four things together, and you're like, wow, that could be really, really cool. Because I would prefer to see a triple threat match and see somebody win versus seeing a one-on-one match with Maverick and Phantasma, and then let's say presumably Drake Maverick wins to have him wrestle against Kushida, because he's already wrestled against Kushida, and clearly Maverick didn't look to be at the same level. So it's a matter of this was the match to have. If you wanted Maverick to go over strongly, you should have done it here. And
Yeah,
I guess to try to make everybody look good, nobody ended up looking good at the end.
Yeah, I definitely would have liked to see the story of. I would like to see the NBA Jam psychology. Drake Maverick wins by luck the first time, but gets the win. Second time, he's heating up. Gets a little stronger. Third time, he's on fire. Yeah. And now he's a real threat. This is not a joke anymore. Like, he's showed off all his skills.
Yeah, this is where he should be. Cruiserweight, competing with cruiserweights. He can compete with them. Now let's see it. It's not like he shouldn't be the underdog every time, and that's how it feels.
And here's the thing with a guy like Maverick. Even though Maverick is much, much smaller than every other guy, because listen, Maverick is built at 140 pounds, and he looks every bit of it. But he looks like an athlete. He's small, but he looks like an athlete.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, he knows how to work to his size. He doesn't try to do anything that anybody would look at and laugh. On the flip side of that, all the other guys that he's working against are usually on the lighter side. We're talking like 170-ish, 180, and then you get up to, Kushida, best build is like 190 something, and Jake Atlas at 200. So it almost, the one thing that it seems like they don't do enough with the cruisers, and I think it might be a matter of, again, these are baby faces and not heels. Let's just say, for example, Jake Atlas was a heel. At 200 pounds, he can just ground and pound a guy like Drake Maverick all day long. He's got him by 60 pounds. He can just manhandle him. And then the whole story of the match is, where does Atlas make a mistake? How can Maverick, get offense in? And Maverick's a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. Just he's small, but he knows how to work to his size. So it's a lot of it is the psychology and the fact that these are all baby faces. There's only but so much they can do, and sometimes those matches seem a little boring because nobody's really trying to generate heat. It's all a matter of just doing really cool moves and telling a nice story within the confines of their characters. But you gotta have some level of heat, and with no heels, the matches will be fine. Don't get me wrong. Technically, they'll be fine, but it's not something that's drawing me like I really like. Oh, this is a must-see match. No, it's not.
Gargano and Candice come out. Johnny's talking on his way to the ring, cutting a little mini promo, getting heat. Did pretty much dissing, calling everyone good hands, and you're all here because of me, and things like that. Candice LeRae looks weird. I don't like the makeup she's using. Not that this should be important, but it's a distraction. Like, she looks kind of greenish. Like, am I bugging? There's something weird, right? Like, I know I'm not going crazy. It's like a distraction. She doesn't need to go that hard just because she's a heel. Like, you can look the same and just be villainous or whatever. Anyway, he's gonna start the Johnny Gargano. As soon as he said Johnny Gargano in my head, I thought invitational. There's always an invitational. in wrestling, someone's always doing an invitational. Johnny Gargano invitational.
Well,
All right.
Hey, at least they're inviting people.
Yeah, you're invited. This leads to a match with Adrian Alanis instead of Adonis. I guess they were trying to fool everybody, play a game, a weird game. But
you know what the funny thing is, and you know, I don't want to sound like I'm being crass here because Adrian Adonis has been gone for a long time, but I don't know if a vast majority of that audience would get the joke.
Well, remember that audience is all like NXT people, so they better get the joke.
Well, even the television audience, meaning
the television audience probably won't get it, but those people in the crowd better get it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. If you're a pro wrestler and you don't know who Adrian Adonis is, shame on you.
Either way, this is just an enhancement match. You know, Johnny hits him with I guess now the Gargano no escape, right? He changed the name of his finish. It used to be the Gargano escape. Now it's the Gargano no escape or some shit like that. And that's it.
Better.
This was just an enhancement match, but the important part of this is after that, Keith Lee and Mia Yim show up on the screen, and they do a parody of the promo that Candice and Johnny cut, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty funny. Like, I actually laughed out loud for that.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised because Mia Yim, I don't necessarily like her mic skills, but maybe being with Keith Lee made her a little comfortable, or maybe because it's pre-taped, so maybe she had a couple of chances and to get it right. It was funny. It made me laugh. So I was cool with that. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Quick, funny segment. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, the segment in and of itself was fine. I think that this is actually the perfect way. It does a couple of things. One is it's the perfect way to be able to get Johnny Gargano over as a heel without having to exhaust any of the mid-level to, you know, semi-upper tier NXT talents. Again, you know, Gargano, yeah, you know, I don't want to point to his size, but he is smaller, and it's a good way to show, you know, an aggressive side. The way the match was, you know, clearly during the match, you know, Gargano was not taking it all that seriously, and as soon as, you know, Alanis, you know, smacked him upside the face, that turned it on, and then Gargano just put the boots to him. I agree with you, Victor, with Candice LeRae. There's just something about there's just something about her presentation. I think that there's something about her that I'm getting the perspective that she doesn't feel comfortable yet in the skin of the role that she's in. The makeup, you
made fun of her hair too, which.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm okay with the hair, you know, whatever have you. It's a matter that, again, Candice LeRae is a very pretty woman. And the fact that you're trying to goth her up and darken her up so much, it's like, again, you don't need to go that far with Candice LeRae. You know, really, it's a matter of, you know, she might be able to darken up some features, but you got to find a way. Listen, her best features, her hair and her eyes are the best features on her face. That's what you're trying to get. If you darken up the hair and you just make it look lifeless, and then you want to darken up every feature of her face, it's like, you know, listen, you're not going to make Candice LeRae ugly, but you can make her pop in the screen less. And that's exactly what they're doing. She looks flat in the image when she comes out with Gargano. Gargano's promo was actually really good. He could have. I thought Gargano did a good job. For some reason, he's out. He must be embracing this character really well because he's doing a good job with his promos. And again, knowing that there was an audience there to play off of was actually very good. The NXT crowd, and you know, again, the one thing I will say for WWE with NXT, you got to light up the room a little bit. It's too freaking dark. Lighten up the room a little bit because there's a big spotlight in the ring, and I understand that the way that they want it is to put the spotlight in the ring and darken up the audience. But the thing is that even when they're in Full Sail, even though you don't always see the crowd, but you can see them, you know they're there. So they'll darken it up so much that then it looks like you're hearing crowd noise. And it's like, hey, where's it coming from? You know, put a little bit of lighting in the crowd, you know, so that we can see that there are people there. The match was the match, whatever have you. The Keith Lee and Mia Yim stuff, I mean, again, the only thing with Keith Lee is that I don't like the way that he speaks. He's got this performance tone to his voice. And I'm like, damn it, you know, do you speak like that in real life? It's just like
he kind of was more of himself during his promo. That's what made him funny to me.
Yeah,
it felt more natural.
The thing, I guess, for me is like with Keith Lee, it's a matter that it's just the way his inflection and the way that he speaks. It's just like it almost sounds like a performance, even though it looks like he's trying to be natural, but it still seems like a performance in his voice. Mia Yim's promo was funny, you know, because she's clearly directing it all at Candice LeRae. And then Keith Lee's looking at her like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you talking funny? Why you got the flashlight in your face and all that? You know, so that was funny.
Like he wasn't in on it.
Yeah, like he wasn't in on the act, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's just like, just put the flashlight to your face. Like, oh, it's so late. Just do it. You know, and they're like, so yeah, it was funny, you know, but at the same time, again, it's like Keith Lee's inflection, whatever. And then the inclusion of Tegan Knox at the end with the one slice of pizza. Like, I'm gonna believe that little woman's gonna eat an entire box of pizza and leave Keith Lee with just one slice. like seriously. You know, so yeah, it was funny. It's just a matter that, again, with Keith Lee, I just don't like the way that his performance inflection. You know, it's just, I if that's the way that he naturally speaks, okay, fine, I can live with it. But part of me thinks that he's just that's a performance tone, and I don't think that he speaks like that in real life.
We got Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez. With Raquel going over, Dakota Kai in her corner, but then Tegan Knox with a run-in to help Shotzi, and then eventually Tegan Knox coming out. This was all over the place. I know you don't like Shotzi, Lou. I kind of like her. I think
it's not that I don't like her.
I think she's really cool. She moves a little slow. Like, you can still see her thinking, but I think once that goes away, I think she has a good package. I think she's gonna be good. You know, Raquel, typical big girl style, I guess now, which is fine. Raquel gets the win. Well, with Dakota kind of doing a little interfering.
Yep.
You know, I do like that I don't like that Tegan Knox necessarily came out because it kind of turned it into a little bit of a cluster. But I do like that they're trying to tell multiple stories. They're like, okay, this person has drama with this person and this person too, which makes more sense because drama doesn't just go away. It's not like I have drama with you from week 1 to week 4. Oh, now we're done. There's no more drama. Now I got to start a new drama with somebody else. So I like that they're trying to start, you know, drama and, you know, with multiple people. So I'm cool with that. Chris?
Yeah, I always prefer that. That was some of the stuff we had 90s, early 2000s. Everyone hated each other. You were bound to get attacked from behind by someone eventually that you forgot you had issues with. The match itself, I enjoyed the match. I like Shotzi's moveset. She surprised me a couple of times. Some of the spots I didn't expect from her. Thought it was a good match. Yeah, enjoyed it.
I mean, this match was okay. I mean, I will say this with Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart has a good presence about her because her look is very unique. You know, like nobody on the NXT women's roster looks remotely close to Shotzi Blackheart. Like that's a positive right off the bat. First, I don't like that little toy tank that she rides to the ring. I just think that's
do without it.
Stupid. I don't like it, but whatever. It's part of her presentation, right? The one thing that I will say that I did not like right off the bat when Raquel Gonzalez came out, it had nothing to do with Raquel. It had to do with Dakota Kai. What I mean by this is that Dakota Kai came to the ring and she was clearly in her street clothes, and the whole sexy looking character that they've really created with Dakota Kai completely went away, and she looked like a little girl out there, with her little shorts and her sneakers and all this. And I'm like, no, even though you're not wrestling, you still have to have part of your look, like even if it's the makeup, like you still have to keep in that character, because it completely took me away, because I was just like, it looks like Dakota's like, well, I'm not wrestling tonight, so I don't have to get dressed for the ring. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because if you're going to be on camera and you're going to be out there performing, do us all a favor and dial yourself up, because it's a matter of creating the character. So I didn't like that. The match in itself was fine. It was the classic big man, little man match. Raquel Gonzalez completely dominating physically. Shotzi Blackheart working from underneath. The match was fine. I mean, obviously both of them are still very green, so you could tell that they're still thinking, both of them out there. Raquel did better in this match. It seems like, she moved a little smoother. Shotzi Blackheart still, up and down. I think that she's still figuring her moveset out, and that's fine. I'll take it. They're both trying and they're both working hard. Obviously the ending when obviously Dakota Kai, it just always seems really weird when Dakota Kai is interfering on behalf of Raquel Gonzalez, because Raquel is so much bigger and stronger than all of her opponents. It just seems weird that she would get herself in so much trouble against.
Hey, brother, Dakota's the heater.
Well, yeah, no kidding. So basically, the match breaks down in where Dakota Kai,
to the outside.
Well, here's the thing, right? So what Dakota Kai does is that she doesn't try to distract by going in and pulling her leg or hitting her in the corner. She gets in the little toy tank, pulls it in reverse, and then goes right like in the middle of the stage, and then she starts ripping the letters out, and I'm like, all right, this is stupid. And then all of a sudden Tegan Nox comes out, and I'm like, okay, well, this story with them has not been resolved, so that's fine. The one caveat that I did like is when Candice LeRae came out. Here's the issue again with Candice LeRae in her heel role. Candice does not know, at least right now, it seems like she doesn't have a really good internal clock and a good internal feel for that heel character. Because even when she went out there and she's getting in Tegan Nox's face, I'm looking at her as like, I don't believe that you're going to punch her or that you're going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. And even when she's talking to her, I'm just like, I'm not scared of you. If I'm Tegan Nox, I would have just punched her in the mouth and keep it moving. So that's it. It's one of those little things. I get it. They're layering it, and that's a good thing. It's just a matter that with Candice LeRae, she's going to have to find that internal rhythm inside of her when it comes to getting this heel character to come out. I just don't think she's understood it just yet. The finish of the match is whatever. Raquel Gonzalez wins. It's the right thing to do. But again, there's a couple of things here. It's like with Dakota Kai, I will say that if you're ever on camera, you cannot go out there, because she looked like a little girl. It's just like, I'm like, okay, where's this sexy heel character you've been playing for the last few months? You come out and you're in like your little shorts, sneakers. I'm like, who's this 14-year-old girl coming to the ring? Like it kind of took me away, because I'm like, no, it just doesn't work. That package isn't there yet. The match was fine. It was whatever, but at the same time, those are little, they did some good and they did some bad in this match. And a lot of it is just a matter of every single person kind of finding their rhythm, in regards to how they want to proceed moving forward. So
we got Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, and it was a partner, I guess, TBD.
TBD.
I like Chelsea Green a lot, and I think she's really, really good. This was not right. This was not the right way to present her. It's like, if you're gonna bring out a surprise, it needs to be something like important or big or whatever. She has not been presented as important. She should be the one going, I got a surprise, and bring out Charlotte. If anything, like, if I'm Rhea Ripley, I would go, like, that's it. Not that Chelsea Green isn't good, but we haven't even met her yet.
She's
I know
not
who
on
she
par
is.
with the other 3 ladies.
Yeah, that story hasn't been told. And if you would have told that story, and she would have been, building, and kicking ass, and everyone knew she's been kicking ass. And then Charlotte goes, "Oh, look who got my back." Then it's cool, but that story is not really being told yet. And now it's like out of nowhere. Oh, look at the big surprise. It's not a big surprise. It's not a good enough surprise for you to. You could have just said, Charlotte could have ran into her in the back and be like, "Yo, you trying to partner up?" And that's it.
Not even with her. Just talk to Robert Stone.
Yeah, that would have been better because I
Robert Stone's her representative. So
I like that Robert Stone is the representative, and I'd like him to get at least one more client.
Yeah, it felt weird because he's been recruiting. He's been trying to recruit people. So you're not gonna recruit Charlotte. Charlotte went out and recruited you. Yeah, it wasn't a major surprise, whoop-de-doo, but I did like the in-ring work and Charlotte pretty much brushing her off the entire match. Just like, I'm coming in now. I'm picking up the scraps. Get in there. You work. I actually enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good match. Nice back and forth. And I mean, they clearly have a little affinity for Green to involve her in this match. And have her bumping heads with Charlotte. From the chop, Charlotte with the accidental chop, tagging herself in. So, I enjoyed the match. Another match I enjoyed.
Who did Charlotte get the pinfall on? Was it Io or was it Rhea?
I don't know. Did Charlotte get the pin or was it Chelsea Green who got the pin?
Charlotte. I know there was a figure.
And then she put her feet on the rope.
Oh no! She cheated. She
rolled her up.
She beat Io Shirai.
She rolled her up.
Charlotte
put her feet on the ropes.
Yeah, she put her feet on the ropes. Gets a little, which I'm okay with that. I'm kind of, but I'm starting to get tired of Charlotte Flair. That's the only problem. She's being a little bit overexposed. If you want to use her on every show, that's fine. But why does she have to have a match on every show? Like, Jesus Christ.
She shouldn't be in a random tag team match.
Yeah,
she shouldn't be wrestling tonight.
Yeah, there's no reason.
She should have came out and interfered or something. There's no reason to have her in this match.
Yeah, I don't need to see, just because you're feuding with Rhea, I don't need to see y'all in the ring together every week going forward until the next pay-per-view or 2 pay-per-views from now. Who knows? I don't need to see that. We can, if Charlotte Flair is meant to be special, then let's treat her as such and not use her so much.
See, this would have been the part. I mean, I would have booked this very differently. I don't like using the bait and switch, but this is what I would have done. Obviously, you have Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. They're not friends, at least in storyline. They're not friends. They don't want to be partners. If I'm Charlotte Flair, I'm like, I'm the champion. I'm not going to wrestle in a tag team match. What I would have done is that I would have been like, all right, you hook up with Robert Stone, so you get Chelsea Green. Who's the other person who's been trying to get with Robert Stone over the last few weeks? You get Aaliyah. So what you do is you put Chelsea Green and Aaliyah in a match against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, so that you get then Chelsea Green and Aaliyah get the rub by getting to work in a tag team match against the 2 top contenders for the women's championship. You give Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley a win, because by beating Aaliyah or beating Chelsea Green, those girls are not getting crushed by losing, because that's a situation where I'm like, you guys have been working in the lower card anyway. So a match like this would be good for both of you to elevate your status. And Charlotte Flair can just be, standing in the rampway watching. And then if she wants to, she could run into the ring afterwards. She wanted to feign like she's going to jump him or something. That's how I would have booked the match, because, again, I don't mind Charlotte being featured on every show, but, again, you're right, Vic. I don't want to see her wrestling on every show. Now, with the match that was there, I mean, listen, dude, again, the fact that the heel gets to pick the partner was really weird, because that's generally a stipulation that, we know who the heel team is and the babyfaces have the mystery partner. And the thing is with Charlotte Flair, she is, by all accounts, she's the top women's star in the WWE. So any partner that she picks, unless it's some new girl coming from another, from another company, it's always going to fall flat. So I was like, okay, Chelsea Green came out. I was like, okay, well, cool, but whatever. You watch the match and you could clearly tell that Chelsea Green, as good as she is, she's not at the level. She's not. She's at least a level below the other 3 women in the ring. So it's a learning curve. The match was fine for what it was. I think they did a good job, doing the heat spots, getting their heat on Io Shirai. Then when Rhea Ripley comes in, she just beats up on everybody. Obviously as the match goes on, they're able to get Rhea out of the ring. Io comes back in, and she takes the fall. It's totally fine. Charlotte gets the win against Io Shirai the way that it should have happened when they wrestled one-on-one. If she was going to win, you cheat. Again, that's the right way to do it, because what it does is that even though Charlotte wins, it's establishing that, hey, Io's on my level, and if I need any advantage I can get. So she put her foot on the rope. She cheated. Referee saw nothing. Totally fine. The aftermath of it, where Chelsea Green fired Robert Stone and now she's going to go on her own, is like, why?
Why?
I was like, they're such a good package. Why are you splitting them up? And they're still in introductory mode. I'm like, they're such a good package together. I think it's dumb.
They had something good going.
They did. And I'm like, and the thing is for me is that I don't know if Chelsea Green or Robert Stone, the way that they're currently presented on their own, if they'll be better apart than they are together. So, hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be.
All right, then we have a little Zoom meeting with Adam Cole and William Regal. This was, of course, this was going to be good. Adam Cole's really good. He's really good at talking shit. They set up a stipulation. What is it? Velveteen. If he loses, that's it.
Can't fight for the belt against Adam Cole again.
As long as Adam Cole is the champion now. However, the one caveat was that William Regal gets to pick the match.
Oh, there's gonna be okay. He's gonna add a stipulation. Okay, the type of match.
He gets to pick the type of match.
What do you think that's gonna be?
He said something weird, right? He said he would pick where it would be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a location.
I didn't know what he meant by
Oh,
that.
we're gonna do a cinematic match, aren't we? Velveteen style. It's gonna. Does Velveteen have any? What's the name of his show? Does he have a show?
Wasn't something like the Velvet Rope or something like that?
It's gonna be something velvet, smoky, and purple. So get ready. Nah, they don't need to do that. Adam Cole's really good at nice quality in ring. We don't need to do nothing crazy.
They're going to have a crowd. Honestly, they could probably do some kind of a cage match. I mean, in all honesty, do something, but not another cinematic match. I don't think it's needed in this instance.
Yeah. Although I could see Velveteen convincing them.
Please no.
So, did you like this segment? I mean, yeah, this is.
Of course. Good.
This is just good shit. Not much to say.
The segment was fine. I mean, it was, again, it's really great the fact that with Adam Cole's coming out and he's trying to punk out William Regal, and I'm looking at it, it's like, I don't think that Adam Cole really knows who he's talking to.
It was something funny. Regal didn't Regal say something funny?
They both threw like old references.
What did Regal say? It was one very
something
obvious.
about Regal. Oh, he called him a baby.
Ah, yes.
Baby.
Said you're acting like a baby.
I popped for that.
And then with Adam Cole, he was just like, "Oh yeah, when you're a man's man, right?" And
a man's man, yeah. And Regal smirked. Regal smiled.
It's
great.
Clever.
No, it's very well done. I mean, but listen, Mr. William Regal, the great Mr. William Regal. You wanna look. His promos are always great, and again, I'm always a little frustrated with NXT whenever they have Byron Saxton or Tom Phillips or one of the announcers say, "Oh, by request of Mr. William Regal," and I'm like, no, have him be on camera, even if it's like via Skype or through an iPad or whatever. As silly as it sounds, you could basically say, "Hey, William Regal is watching this. He's watching the show in real time in his home, and he can make rulings." And he can, and they can record him. It's a pre-recorded show. You can do all those pre-tapes, and you can use it with the pretense that he's watching it in real time in his house. That he has like a stream that he gets to watch the NXT show live from his home, and that he can make decisions right then and there. It's an easy way to get him on camera because of the fact that he cuts good promos, and he could cut those promos. And he's got and the fact that he speaks so well and so eloquently, it's almost like I want to hear from him. Not every segment, but at least if it's like once a show where you have him on and he's there for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, cuts a quick promo, announces a match, and boom, in and out, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get a little enhancement match. Tomaso Champa against Leon Ruff. This is, an ass whipping the way it should be, but there's a little bit of head games going on because Scarlett's gonna come out, and make her presence known. Then we're gonna get a promo from I'm still gonna call him Killer Cross until forever. Look, anything that has to do with Killer Cross, I'm just waiting for this. His first big match. They gave him what I think is the perfect opponent. Because to me, the best matches come from Gargano and Champa. They're having the best matches on NXT, like probably in history. But for Killer Cross, Ciampa's the way better choice. I'm really curious, and I'm really hoping when they lock up that it's amazing and everything I think it could be.
Yeah, on paper it should be great. They're gonna fuck each other up. Hell yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah, quick match. I mean, they let Leon get a few little spots there. I like the little bouncing off the rope, sliding on the Ciampa thing, but quick work of him. When's the plan for these guys to touch each other?
I'd imagine it's at that In Your House.
June 7th.
Yeah, In Your House. Take NXT Takeover In Your House. And if you just by that name, and if you've seen the poster for it, it's very colorful and fun. There was a lot of fun stuff on this show, like little things here and there to make you giggle a little bit, So I'm glad they're adding a little bit of entertainment.
I mean, this match was. I mean, listen, the match was whatever. With Ciampa, I think that in the beginning, he seemed to be, the way the match started out, just fine. Ciampa's feeling the guy out. When Scarlett comes down to the ring, that clearly becomes like, hey, that's when the guy rolled him up for a 2 count because Ciampa was distracted. So that's a good foil. With Scarlett, Scarlett has the perfect character from a visual perspective, because she's literally, it's almost like if you ever seen the Broadway show Cabaret, like she has like that whole cabaret burlesque look to her. And she fits the role perfectly. Like I can literally take Scarlett's character right now and pop her into a cabaret or a burlesque show, and she fits in perfectly. The fact that after the match was over, Killer Cross cut the promo, and Scarlett's just standing there, like she's the visual personification. She's the representative for Killer Cross, but then Cross cuts the promo from the big screen. And all you see is his eyes. It's shot so perfectly. And on the other side of it, the thing that made it work was you saw Ciampa And Champa, I don't want to say that he looked scared, but he looked concerned. And that's the look you want. Now, do I think that Ciampa's a great opponent for Killer Cross? I don't necessarily know if he's the right first opponent. I would have probably preferred Killer Cross to maybe squash somebody else that might have been slightly lower, because after you beat Ciampa, then
what?
The next level doesn't, the next level after that is a championship. And I've said it on these videos before. Keith Lee, you better watch out, brother, because you're Killer Cross is coming for you. But it just seems like with Ciampa, that's a big introduction, a big move initially. And it just kind of seems like after this program with Ciampa is over, then it seems like the only next progression for Killer Cross is to put a title on him. So that's the reason why
Send them up to the main roster.
No, not yet. Listen, the reason why I say not yet is because NXT, a guy like that is a perfect character for NXT. And with NXT knowing that Riddle's up going, Riddle went to SmackDown, Dijakovic is going to probably be coming up to the main roster. They still need talent on the NXT side, and I think that a guy like Killer Cross and Scarlett, they're going to be there for a little while, so they'll get through Ciampa, and I think that realistically, at some point, he's going to be the guy that's going to take the strap off of Keith Lee. So there you go.
All right, then, then we get the main event: Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher, special guest referee, the Olympic gold medalist.
You suck. You suck.
Kurt freaking Angle,
You suck.
who won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. How cool is Angle? I love that guy.
I was hoping they would have chanted "You Rock."
I don't know how they have it.
I was hoping it was a different chant, because especially if it's wrestlers sitting there, I was hoping it was a different chant.
I don't know how these fans don't know. You can still do the "You suck," but why not just direct it at the heel? Direct it at Thatcher. You suck.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We have what did they call this cage? It had like an interesting name.
It was it like the pit or something? What was it? Fight pit?
Maybe. Either way, we have a
fight pit.
I don't know, but either way, it's a new cage. I guess new match types. You can only win by knockout or submission. Boxing style knockout with the 10 count, which was interesting. These guys just tore the house down not too long ago, and they didn't have a cool ass cage to work with. Although I still think I like that first match a little bit better. I don't know why. I think that was like lightning in a bottle right there with that real like MMA based match, like all grappling almost and hard hitting. And in this one, just because they had this cage, they wanted to do all this stuff off the top of the cage, which I normally wouldn't. I'd be all for it. Yes, and Matt Riddle, he can obviously do it. But after I seen them have that great grappling match and they bring something so unique to the table that not a lot of people can do, I kind of just wanted more of that. If they wanted to use the cage, yes, but I don't think they needed to go up there, and I don't think they needed to do anything off the top, except for that first spot when Riddle jumped from off the top. I thought that was cool, nice little surprise. And then Riddle is gonna take the loss. Didn't he get choked out?
This match, he got choked out.
He got choked out. Yeah, so. I was surprised at first, but then it's obvious Riddle's coming to the main roster, and this was him doing the favors like you should do. I'm okay with this. I know some people, if you watch all of the shows, then maybe it's, you don't want to see people lose. But I always believe that when you leave NXT and you go to the main roster, it's a clean slate. It's a fresh start. If you need the storytelling, you can always go back to the stuff that happened in NXT. If it makes sense, like a Sami Zayn versus KO, it makes sense to tap into that history. But I don't think you have to necessarily. Matt Riddle can come in and, you know, however you want to push him or whatever you want to do with him, it's a fresh start. And he kind of gives Timothy Thatcher, who I really like, a little bit of the rub, you know, because Matt Riddle was a big star there. So let's see, maybe Timothy Thatcher is next up, and he'll be, you know, clashing with these main eventers sooner than later.
Yeah, I like the match. I liked all the aspects of it, being able to climb up top. I love the usage of the cage. I love the no turnbuckles, no ropes, just kick each other's asses. I love the tooth spot, the blood coming out, Kurt Angle putting on gloves. What the hell was that? That took me by surprise. I love them going to the doctor and the doctor using the flashlight. I thought that was cool. It felt very MMA. It was just a mix of everything. I enjoyed the match, and I thought it was a decent send-off for Riddle. But a nice way to get Thatcher over for sure. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this match is this kind of felt like again, the reason why I'm feeling like this is because I liked the first match they had so much. This didn't feel like, this is not the match they should have had second time around. It should have been a similar wrestling match than they had the first time, like a regular wrestling match. Just have Thatcher go over. And this match should have happened at the In Your House show, and that's where you send Riddle off. I didn't think that this was a good match to have on television. One is because the commercial breaks take away from the match. That one commercial break, it kills the tension of the match. The tooth spot that Chris mentioned, you loved it. I did, and I didn't at the same time. Here's how. If they would have cut the tooth spot out, meaning Thatcher gets hit in the face, he goes down, you see the blood, you see the two teeth, and then they leave it at that and they go to commercial, then to the audience, it's like, oh man, like this is serious. Now, when they go to the doctor and then the doctor flashes the flashlight on Timothy Thatcher's mouth, there's two things that happen. One is you clearly see that all of his teeth are still there, and number two, you see that the blood is clearly fake. So at that point, I was like, done. They come back from, see, that's the reason why that spot shouldn't have been there, because it's too, they're trying to be detailed, and I get it, and I appreciate the detail, but and then after they come back from commercial break, you see Thatcher, they cleaned him up, and he looks completely clean. Now, if you've ever split a lip or lost a tooth, and you're fighting, you won't be bleeding anyway.
It'd be gushing.
Look at the match where Cesaro actually broke his teeth for real in that post spot, and he wrestled the rest of the match, and no matter how hard he tried, he was basically drinking his own blood for the rest of that match. I get the intention. It's totally cool, and I appreciate it. But again, it only showed the spot to be fake when they went too deep into the details. And I was like, I didn't like it.
I was looking for his teeth when I did see all the teeth, but at the end of the match, I saw a bunch of teeth missing back here, so I wasn't sure if those are the ones that fell out.
He
looked nuts.
He just doesn't brush his teeth, so that's why.
Yeah.
Well, listen, do I believe that Matt Riddle can knock your teeth out with a kick? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But at the same time, they went too much into that detail, and in doing so, they actually exposed the one thing they shouldn't do. They exposed it as like, okay, this was not a quote unquote genuine moment.
I
You
didn't
know,
mind that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if this was a real fight, I think Matt Riddle would have 1, 2, 3 choked him out, got him out of here.
well,
But I think I thought that moment made Riddle look like a badass for knocking his teeth out, and it made Thatcher look like a badass for continuing to fight after losing 2 teeth. So that's why I like it.
yeah, but again, had they not done the spot with the doctor spotlighting and everything, and they would have just went to break, then the announcers can then you allow the announcers to pontificate about it and spin it in such a way, but when they clearly show it, it's just like, okay, to me the visual already tells me that although the intent is as such is to make both, make Riddle look like a badass for delivering the kick and knocking Thatcher's teeth out, and Thatcher on the other side looking like a badass for continuing the fight, that one visual in the middle just kind of took it away from me. The rest of the match was fine. They did a lot of good wrestling stuff. I just don't think that this was not the right match for them to have. This should have been a 3-match series. This would have been better being a regular wrestling match that Thatcher would win. And guess what? The way that Thatcher would have won is that he'll get him, and it'll be like Matt Riddle tries to put him in a submission move, and then Thatcher pins him. As weird as it sounds, because I know that Thatcher's all about, I want to tap you out or knock you out or whatever.
That's the Bret Hart spot.
Thank you. The Thatcher would win. The Thatcher would win similarly to the way that Riddle won, and then they just both look at each other and say, "No, this is garbage." We're getting lucky here. 3rd match, then you fight in the cage, because again, it's like that feels like the right send off. Do it in the takeover in your house show, and then they could do that exact same match at the in your house show. No commercials, no breaks in the tension, nothing. And then they could have had Kurt Angle. They could have had all the exact same setup they did on this TV show. The exact same.
Definitely felt too big for a random Wednesday night.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah, well, NXT always does this. They blow.
I see the camera panning out, and I see this structure. I'm like, holy shit, this looks awesome.
It looked cool. I mean, it's just a matter that, again, it's like, I understand that, obviously it's television and you're competing against the other guys on TNT. So, you want to give your best matches. However, I think the first match that they had was so physical, so good that you could have done a repeat of that match for the second one and then have the cage match be part of the In Your House show, because then it's a gimmick match, but it fits the structure of the show. To say like this is the end all. It's 1-1. Now we're doing this, and off to the races we go. And then you have Thatcher go over strong, send Riddle packing on his way to SmackDown, and now Thatcher looks good, for whatever his next assignment is on NXT.
Yeah, and I would have did it in your house too. NXT, I would not be surprised if more people watch Takeovers than watch the regular show.
Hey.
I think everyone likes the Takeovers. I don't know if everyone loves the regular show. They probably like it, or they're okay with it, or whatever. But the Takeovers is what everybody wants to see. I think Thatcher becomes a bigger star if he beats him at Takeover.
I mean, listen, that'd be my position. I would probably push to get this match on Takeover and not have it be on regular NXT TV. Only because of the fact that the rest of the show, and again, I'll give kudos to WWE this week because I saw all 3 shows, and all 3 shows were good. None of them were boring. They all were telling good stories. They tried doing different things, and it was well done. Just some very basic old school storytelling. Some things hit better than others, but for the most part, they're trying something different. And the audience was having those wrestlers there. Oh my God, it's so much better.
Yeah, a little thing about this show, I kind of prefer this fan setup to I kind of prefer this one as opposed to the one they did on Raw. Because if there were any robots, you could barely see them. But it looks like they had more energy too. Like I don't know if they were more comfortable, if they were told, look, you know what, it looked a little weird on TV. How was SmackDown? Were they more energetic, or did they do the robot thing again?
No, they were good. They were good.
Okay.
The one thing that they're doing is that they're interacting with the wrestlers, and the wrestlers obviously are going down there and knowing that there's another human being on the other side of the plexiglass. You know, they can interact with them, and it works. I mean, it makes the show better. You know, again, like I said in the previous video, you know, it took WWE 2 months to get in the game, but at least they're playing that game now, and at least all the 3 shows this week they were much better.